Good morning, everybody. Thursday morning after the big snow up here. It's 30 degrees and paste. Okay. Kichigumi. Yep, Kichigumi is first, followed shortly thereafter by AZ. Good morning, everyone. Little Amalora, good morning. Good afternoon there, should I say. The day after David's birthday. Or is it today his birthday? With the time change, I think he says this is his birthday today. Right, Laura? Yes, we got a very heavy snow last night. Not a lot of fun, but it is what it is. Here it is. I'll show it to you. This is my driveway. It is heavy snow. And supposed to get maybe another 2 to 3 or 4 inches over the next several days. Let me show you out the front door. There's what it looks like out front. What me and I'll probably have to do here a little bit is we're going to have to go down and shovel Lynn's house. She can't do it, she's nursing that broken foot. Let me show you what Lynn's house is looking like this morning. I haven't checked it yet, but let's take a look. Okay, there's Lynn's driveway. It is, as you can see, it's pretty deep. So if we go down and shovel it off, it'd help her out tremendously. Hanging with JD looks like gonna be a slow morning. Yes, it does. JD, not a lot of people around. Laura's here. Kichigumi, Wayne B, One Vision, and AZ, of course. So if it continues to stay slow and people want to take the morning off, I understand. Wish I could take this whole experience. Tim Jackson is watching. The snow is really, really, really heavy. Just nasty. Nasty heavy snow. I went out last night about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and started shoveling and get done about an hour and a half or so later. The kids from upstairs came down and helped a little bit. I appreciate any help I can get, but kids, they don't stay on any one thing. The next thing I know, they're out in the schoolyard having a snowball fight with some of their neighbors. So no school, of course, here today. And I don't think Paul Hodges drove school bus this morning. I could be wrong. Haven't heard from him. Here comes David. And Justin.
Oh no, not Justin.
Right, I'm leaving. Bye.
Your little sister's giving it to you again, Justin.
What'd she say? I just got in.
She says, "Oh no, not Justin."
Ugh. Yeah, one more day. I'm on vacation.
Then you're on vacation for what? 9 days?
Yep. Yeah, 9 days.
9 days.
Well, David, so is today your birthday or was it yesterday?
It's today.
It's today.
Okay. Well, happy birthday, David.
Thank you.
What are you guys doing? Anything for your birthday or what?
I'm gonna annoy him all day.
So nothing unusual.
Well, David, didn't you say that to celebrate your birthday, you were going to take her to Tim Hortons?
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe I misunderstood.
And you're gonna get your milk served by Tim Hortons.
So,
If anybody's on my Facebook, you can all now see exactly how my family feel about me. Because the only person that's wished me a happy birthday on there is Laura.
Well, to be fair, I don't go on Facebook very often.
I don't do Facebook either, but
Justin, you're just an in-law. You don't have to.
Mhm. Yeah, I only go on Facebook maybe once a week to check my stuff, and that's about it. I don't go on there very often.
Cheers, Paul. Cheers, One Vision. Cheers, Glitchy.
Paul Hodges says, "Happy birthday, Birdman."
Where is Paul?
I don't know. I don't think that he was driving the bus this morning, but maybe he is.
There's always time for Tim Hortons.
That's where he is, Tim Hortons.
Well, he's probably on his way home from doing that.
Well, the thing of it is, the schools are closed here, so I don't know. Maybe it didn't get his bad there. I don't know.
I know they just used up 3 days of their 6 free days they have to close the schools.
Yeah.
And is it even that bad outside to where they can't go to school?
Yeah.
No, they could go, but I think it's the, because we're not that big a town and the school district covers a lot of the rural outdoor. Hey, Laura's getting down. She's doing a happy birthday dance for you, David.
Don't need that.
School buses are runners.
Anyway, the school district, they have a lot of rural.
All right, or running.
Oh,
Okay.
So the school buses are running, but there's no kids on them.
oh, the school buses. Okay, so he did drive this morning. I didn't know.
There's always time for a birthday tattoo too, lol. I don't think so. Don't got to design Laura's yet.
Yeah, you need to get it done so I can take it. Get it quoted. They're gonna lay down.
Oh, you.
Yes, then I'll stop annoying you.
Why are the flags at half-staff today? Did I miss a holiday or something?
Good question. I do not know.
Could it be something to do with the shootings?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, because if Biden died overnight, I missed it.
Most of the flags in Florida wouldn't be at half-staff for that, so. I didn't see any celebrations in the street, so I don't think that's what it was.
I got to pitch some peanuts. I'm going to have to go and buy some more peanuts today. They've gone through 100 pounds of peanuts in the last 2 weeks.
It kicked me out for it. What the hell?
Yeah, it's the tragedy in California, Monterey Park. Or Monterey Park. And you're to keep them at half-mast until sunset today.
What happened in California? I missed that too. Jesus.
They had the new moon festival, Chinese festival. There was a shooting there at a dance school, 10 people killed. And then the day after, there were 7 people killed in a school. Well, was it school? I think so. Yeah, they had 2 shootings in 2 days.
Yeah, I missed all that.
Yeah, we're only in the UK, so we get all your news.
I honestly don't watch the news very often. I usually go on YouTube and watch independent journalists on YouTube. I don't watch the mainstream media.
I don't blame you. Your news is well different to ours.
You know how many times they've been sued over here for lying by people, like defamation cases and stuff?
Oh, I can imagine.
AT&T was actually going to sell CNN they were talking about selling them about a year and a half ago because they cost them over $1 billion in lawsuits over a 2-year period because they kept lying on all these people about different things, and a bunch of people were suing them over it.
I mean, I get that sometimes, false news comes out and stuff, but it's the way they talk down at you, like they're trying to brainwash you. It's like if you make that mistake of clicking one channel, you're screwed. You're in a cult.
Right. What's up, Bill?
Hey, JD, and thank you.
What's up, Tim, JD? Let's see. Marshall, Dustin.
Afternoon, Tim. Get on this panel now. You look shit.
Same B.
Well, the Sky engineer came out, unplugged the wires and plugged them back in, and it worked. Hi, Sarah. Thank you.
Or do you do it outside?
Yeah, up on the satellite dish.
Yeah, it might have been a loose connection or something.
He thinks it was a build-up of static. I don't know. I think he's just covering his back.
I've never heard of that, but I also never worked on satellites either, so that could be a thing. I don't know.
It is a thing, but normally when you've had a thunderstorm, We've not had a thunderstorm in a long time.
It's hard to say though, too. If he went and pulled the wires off and put them back on, it
Um,
could have been a loose connection.
Tim,
For sure.
that's not a rule. Get your ass on here. We're not having that. No.
Oh, Tim, I don't go on vacation till next week because he messaged me at what's that, like 10:30 last night, and I was already sleeping. He was like, "What are you doing?" I saw it this morning.
Oh,
I'll start my vacation on Friday, which tomorrow, the end of tomorrow.
So if anybody's interested, you have a website called halfstaff.org, and it tells you why all American flags have to be half-mast in what areas and stuff.
Not even all the flags are at half staff. Like the bank across the street that I'm looking at has theirs at half staff. McDonald's has theirs all the way up.
Yeah, well, McDonald's don't give a shit, do they? Now, if there's a lot of teenagers that have died, then maybe they would give a shit. It's like, future employees have been killed.
That McDonald's is slack though, but well, when I worked at Walmart, we used to get an alert from corporate in the early in the morning if we had to put it at half staff.
Yeah.
And I always had to go out and do it because nobody knew how to wrap the rope properly around the hook. They'd always screw it up.
Oh, the second guy from the second shooting in California, he's been charged with murder.
Oh, they actually charged a criminal with something in California. Holy crap. That's a surprise in itself. Usually you get arrested as a victim because you inconvenienced the criminal in his duties.
Why is it when they arrest people in America, they always parade them? Make them walk to the furthest away vehicle.
It's a news thing for the news to get a shot of them. But you're always taking a risk too, because there's been plenty of times where they've, been hauling a criminal to a car or to wherever, and somebody will take a shot at him, try to kill him because they're pissed off, a family member. There was that real famous case back in, I think it was the 80s, might have been the 70s, I think it was the 80s, that a little boy got raped and killed, and detectives or marshals, whoever they were escorting him through a building, and the father was pretending to be on a damn payphone, and they walked right past the father, and the father turned around and just shot and killed the dude. Like he was sitting there lying in wait. And I don't blame the dad. I mean,
I don't blame him.
if
Instant
I was
justice.
the jury, I'd have let him off on that one. I'd have been like, "Yep, you're not guilty." Because I mean, some parents just that they can't handle something like that.
Yeah, over here, if you get arrested, they just launch you in the nearest van. Get in there.
Rodney Bell, what's that?
Here's Paul.
Hey, hey, hey. Yeah.
You need to change your name to Tim Hortons Drones.
Yeah, Tim Horton drones. Hey, never thought of that one. That's a good one.
Print a Tim Hortons logo on your drone and fly it. Just fly it around the drive-through.
Yeah. Hey,
Just
no,
put
I do.
Just put it up at the window with a little message on saying, "I'll be here in a minute." Yeah, or hang a cup on it.
No, I think he needs to be.
Tim Horton drones.
He needs to go into THA. Tim Hortons Anonymous. He's got an addiction problem.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Tim Hortons. I love my coffee. Hey, Rodney Bell's in there. Good morning, Rodney, Sarah, Tim Jackson, Bill from Newfound Drone, Marshall, and that JD guy. I don't know who he is, but anyways. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, Rodney Bell, good morning, Rodney. JD's there?
Oh,
I tried telling him the same thing, Bill. Listen to me.
We'll put it this way. Yeah, if you don't sort his arse out, yeah, he will be down because we'll come over there and put him down. Get on these panels, you little shit.
Either that or what's going to happen is all the people that he expects to come to his live stream are going to say, well, we don't like to be there either. So bye.
Yeah, they won't do that. Get on the panels because otherwise I'm going to be bullied because Sarah, Laura and Justin are now brothers and sisters. I need a brother.
Yeah, there you go. And you know what? Tim, I don't know if you know that or not. Today is your brother David's birthday. Yep.
Oh, I hear that noise. Oh, let me in. Call out here.
I offered to buy Laura a monitor last night. And I
You did.
messaged the guy on Facebook. And he said he was too busy for a couple of weeks for anyone to come and buy it.
You want this?
And then
Oh.
this morning, he's reduced the price on it. It's like, what the hell?
You want it? Look at it. Playing games. I got a treat for her. Look at it. She's just standing right there playing games. She knows she wants it. You're just waiting for Vader to finish his, right?
Yeah.
Want it? Oh,
That's the
now
rule.
she wants to chase it. There we go. Now she took it. Good run. Little bugger.
Yep. You can wish Tim Jackson a happy birthday on his Facebook page.
Tim Jackson.
Oh
Who,
no,
David?
David. Well, I get the brothers mixed up, you know.
Yeah, a lot of buses running late today, Paul.
Well, yeah, I was amazed that, you know, because the schools are all closed here.
Yeah. We had 2 breakdowns today. No, I didn't, but our runs I heard out in the country are having breakdowns. So,
Sounds like Diane in her tour bus.
yeah.
Did you hear about that, David?
Yeah.
What's that?
Paul's sister is down in Cuba on a tour.
All
And
right.
out in the middle of nowhere, the tour bus broke down.
Well, they had nobody around to fix it. So they had to sit and wait for another bus to come pick them up.
That wouldn't make you too happy, would it?
Well, at least it's in Cuba, not in the Sahara or somewhere.
Yeah.
No, we had one school bus, the stop sign wouldn't come out this morning. Wouldn't come out. And that's a big no-no. You can't go continue on your run if it quits working. You have to have another bus brought to you.
I remember back when bus drivers had to get out and hold the stop sign across the give.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
The crossing arm out in front of the bus, it don't have to be working. You can still continue, but any of your red lights that are flashing.
Flashing lights have to work, right?
I was watching some of them instant karma videos this morning, and there was a car pulls up at the swerves in front of this other car at the traffic lights in Texas, and the big guy gets out the car and he's shouting at the car he's just swerved in front of, and next thing you know, the car he's shouting at puts his blues and twos on. And he gets out and he goes, "Put your hands on the floor!" Instant karma.
David, check your messenger. Stupid card. All right. Put that in there.
So Paul, you got any signs you got to do today?
You got 4 to do this morning, Paul. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be busy for a little bit this morning. Not too long, but
Yeah.
Hello, Father Frank at Firestone downtown.
Yeah, Frank.
Just let you know who stairs are here.
Okay. What looks like a good day? I know you guys are busy all the time.
You know, most of the time, but this month things slow down. So anytime you want to put on, we get them on for you.
Okay, sounds great. I'll be down.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Bye-bye.
Tires for your truck.
Yeah.
What's up, David? In the chat.
Money.
Well, let's give you some news updates from the UK. So, the transgender person, the one that raped 2 women as a bloke and has converted into a woman, he was actually put in a women's prison, and the kickoff has been so much they've moved him to a male prison. Or her.
Or it.
Or it. So because of his crimes, he has to serve his time in a men's prison, where he's become.
I think they ought to give him a choice of prison time or castration. Myself.
He's gone through the change. He's had the op.
Oh, okay.
Castration is no longer an option.
So he's just genetically a male, but physically a female. Okay.
Yeah. And now he's going to become a prisoner's bitch
Yeah.
for crimes he committed as a man. And
The strange world we live in, David.
oh,
Yeah.
that okay, that guy that changed sex or something while waiting trial.
yeah. And in other news, this could be our last day on Earth.
Why?
There's an asteroid heading for us.
Really?
Yeah, it's not actually going to hit us, but it's going to come in between the planet and the satellites. South America is going to sail across the skies there about 7 minutes past midnight UK time. So 7 minutes after UN, Paul, tonight.
Oh, so it's going to be the grand finale of our nighttime show, Paul.
Yeah.
There you go. So it's going to be, fucking Big Rock's going to hit Earth tonight show. Okay.
Yeah.
7:09 p.m.
Yeah. So you're all going to be sat there going, and to all a good night. Kaboom!
It's funny. I haven't seen anything here on the news about it.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything either.
Can you imagine it, Paul? The one sign you're going to get a live stream that's going to go viral, and it's the end of the world.
End of the world live stream.
Here you go. Let me just share this with you.
So, Rod, you're saying that his funeral, his wife's or his mom's funeral is tomorrow. Okay, BBC asteroid trying be close encounter with Earth. Oh,
All right, well, let me
So
go
that's the
loot a
fa-
store and get a new TV beforehand.
Yeah. So that's where your satellites go, and that's where it's going.
yeah, in between.
So you
I hope,
guys,
I hope the space station isn't in any
Yeah, wonderful. Take out a bunch of Elon Musk satellites.
what it does it the down a little bit, does it say anything about disruption of satellites or
it
destruction of,
doesn't. It's going to be, they reckon, around about 2,200 miles within. So they class it as a close shave.
About the size of a minibus. Okay.
And it was a guy in Crimea with a take home, what do you call them?
telescope?
Telescopes. Yeah, one of the ones you buy in the shops.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Okay.
spotted it on that. And then all the scientists, he let the scientists know, and he was like, oh crap, how did we miss this thing?
Well, what was that movie where the guy was out there? He was an amateur.
Yeah, don't look up.
Yeah.
No, he's talking about
Yeah, the guy was yelling at his wife. She was nagging him.
because there was another movie, the one with Bruce Willis in it.
Right.
I think that was the one with the kid that found it, and they named it after him.
Right.
All right.
think
Now, the recent film is Don't Look Up.
There was 2 asteroid films that came out in it was either late '90s or early 2000s at the same time.
Oh, no, this was only last year before.
Yeah, I know about that one, but Bruce Willis was in one of them. I just can't think of the damn names of them.
Well, isn't that the one where the asteroid is headed towards Earth and they want to deflect it somehow, or
And they send up Bruce Willis because him and his team are like
and that
experts.
crew, and one of them was a big guy that was riding motorcycles, and they're just crazy bunch.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi.
Yep.
That's to say his name. He was in it.
He wanted to stay there and watch it.
Yeah, he was the one that was just sitting up on the nuclear warhead riding
Yep.
it like a horse.
Yeah.
The guy said, "Get the hell off the nuke."
I see they're going to move that transgender guy or whatever his name out of the women's prison now. They're
Yeah.
saying.
That's what David was saying.
Oh, okay, I thought they were just talking about him being in there, but they're going to transfer him out.
Transfer it out.
Oh, yeah.
So just in case it's, just diverts a little bit off course, don't forget to put your crash helmet on tonight.
Yeah.
David, this is a hell of a birthday present.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you
No.
get for your birthday? A giant rock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was,
Armageddon.
it was sent all the way across the galaxy just for me.
Armageddon, isn't
Armageddon. Yeah.
is
Yeah, what
Armageddon
was the-
about asteroids? I thought that was the one where he flies into
What?
the spacecraft.
Well, like I said, there's 2 of them.
Oh no, that's Independence Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's 2 of them that came out at the same time. There was Armageddon and another one. There was another one that came out at the same exact time. Armageddon was the one that had Bruce Willis and all that in it. Had a bunch of big stars in it. Yeah, Deep Impact. That was the other one.
Oh yeah.
Deep Impact was
That's
the
the one
they-
where the deep impact is where it actually hits out in the Pacific Ocean, and the gal and her dad standing on the shore as it sweeps over, right?
Yeah, that was the one that they named after the kid because
Yeah.
a kid and
Yeah, because they took the kid and his young girlfriend and his family, and they put them in out in safety out in the Colorado mountains.
yeah, because it was he was working with like a amateur astrologist that was teaching him astrology, and then they ended up finding a comet, and then they ended up naming it after the kid.
Yeah.
Bill from Newfound Drone Production. Well, more news from Afghanistan. Canada Post can't deliver a 50-pound package because of bad weather when the sun is shining.
I went out and cleaned off the bird feeder a little bit. Look at them out there. They're having a good old time.
Party time.
You use snowblower to clean out there, Paul, or what?
No, I hand shoveled that baby.
Well, because there's people out today this
Who's
morning.
throwing all the snow?
What's that?
Who's throwing all the snow? Every now and again, you just see a load of snow come down.
It's blowing off the roof here, I think. Or there's something up there on the roof scurrying around.
Oh, Paul, I got a thank you card already from one set of parents and a $15 Tim Hortons card
All right.
this morning.
Yeah, because tomorrow's his last day, and the parents are giving him all kinds of Tim Hortons cards.
Oh, look at that little birdie.
Yeah. See, that's what Laura needs to do, drive a school bus.
What are
These-
these little birds,
What
Paul?
do you want?
These are finches, and right there is mourning doves. The little finchy guys. These are there's also some starlings out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we know you love starlings.
Oh yeah, and there's a blue jay. He went down and grabbed a peanut, took off.
Blue jays are very clever birds.
Oh yes.
But Bill, I thought there was a saying with the post office, no snow, no rain, no bleeding, whatever, will stop us from our appointed rounds or something. That thought that's what they had some motto there at Canada Post.
Yeah, we have a motto over here with our postal service. If we can find a way, we won't deliver it.
Yeah.
Well, I see Germany sending some tanks to the UK, and the US is sending tanks to the UK, but
Not yet.
Germany's going to send them within a week or two. The US is saying, "Oh, it'll be months before we can send tanks."
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to send any. But the thing is, they have to train them first. It's going to take them a freaking month to ship them over to freaking.
yeah.
Germany.
Just so you're aware, we don't want them over here.
Yeah.
You mean Ukraine, not UK?
Yeah, they're sending tanks to the UK, to the Ukrainians.
Yeah.
That's because they're training 60,000 Ukrainian troops now in friendly countries, and then they're going to teach them how to use the stuff, and then they're going to send them in with all of it.
JD, if February the 8th, I'm going in for the first sitting. So,
But they're not going to have to do much training with them because the U.S. Special Forces have already been training with the Ukraine forces for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So it's not going to take much to train them.
That's why I laugh at their excuse for the time it's going to take to send the tanks. Because if this were a war that we were in, they'd have been there yesterday.
oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All these transport planes heading over to,
Oh, yeah, they got
Worst
those
bit
great
is-
big heavy lifters and stuff. They take them tanks over there, boom, 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 boom.
But the worst bit is, Russia haven't waited for these tanks. They've launched airstrikes overnight.
Well, Russia is, I don't know if you saw it in the news or not. Russia had a missile carrying destroyer off of the west coast over there, and they test fired a ballistic missile next to the U.S.
Oops.
trying to threaten.
been quiet over since they announced that they're going to send tanks over. Because usually he'd be going, "Oh yeah, we're going to drop nuclear bombs on you guys." Then
Well, let Russia try it. If their Navy wants to get out there and get some balls on them, they're going to get wiped off the face of the earth in a matter of a couple days. Go ahead
Right.
and stick around and find out with the U.S.
Oh.
Navy.
If I come on the live stream and I'm like this,
yeah,
you know Russia have already launched one.
Yeah,
You know we're going to get hit first.
Like I said, if they want to go toe to toe with the U.S. Navy, they can fuck around and find out because they're going to get a rude awakening. Because Putin's admitted plenty of times over the years, like he even said in an interview about, I want to say, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but he actually said, it's best if you just leave the United States alone. He's not stupid. He knows he wouldn't win a war against the United
well,
States.
the sad part of it is because of world politics, the way it is, doesn't have the strength he used to have. He's got to then be even more of a tyrant than he was, because within his own ranks, there's people talking about overthrowing.
Not just that, he's supposed to be dying. And if he is dying, then
What does he care?
yeah, he wants to go down in history. He wants to be remembered.
Well, we have a nuclear war, there won't be any history left.
I don't think he's stupid enough to do that, to be honest with you. Because he knows what's going to happen. I mean, that would be the stupidest thing you could ever do. Because that's not good. That doesn't end well for anybody.
No.
So, like I said, the only thing I would fear from getting into a straight one-on-one conflict with Russia or China is they'd get backed into a corner and then they would have no choice but to use nukes.
but the funny thing is, I don't understand. They're going to send them all these tanks. Why not send them aircraft? All the wars are won from the air, not.
Aircraft, yep.
I'm gonna send a squadron of F-22s in there and watch them Russian planes run like little girls.
Well, and the Iron Dome, we perfected that. Why don't they have a missile system there that protect?
Oh, they got
Well,
it there.
they're sending Patriot. The Iron Dome is actually the one that Israel designed. We designed the Patriot missile system. Patriot missile system, they're actually sending batteries of those over there. But those are super highly advanced. Like, I don't think the Russian jets would have a chance if they get those on the ground.
Well, if you read the article, what's happening, but like not all the countries are sending tanks. Some of them are, but some are sending missiles and drones and all kinds of different things to them.
Yeah, most of the news coming out with the Ukrainian victories are either spotted by drones or are using drones.
And the only reason the Ukrainians have been able to fight so well is because for years before this happened, they were training with U.S. Special Forces, and they actually took the training and listened. And, you know, it wasn't like when they were trying to train the Afghan forces that just didn't have any desire to want to actually learn anything.
They didn't have the cojones.
Yeah.
Well,
But
and that's,
now, if they had any kind of skirmish, U.S. and all them with Russia, you watch, China will go in and take Taiwan while you're in the middle of doing that.
Oh, yeah. They're waiting for a distraction.
Waiting for something to happen, keep the U.S. busy while they go in and take Taiwan.
yeah,
I
would
think
hate to-
China may find it a bit harder to take Taiwan than they think. I mean, you just look at what's happened with Russia. Russia thought they were going to sail into Ukraine, take it, and
In
that
2
was
days.
it. Job done.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is one-to-one combat now.
Yeah.
Because no one's got the edge.
But
Well,
the
not to
funny thing
mention-
is that with Russia, all the equipment they sent to Ukraine was some of it was so freaking old, and you know their freaking soldiers were inexperienced. You know,
Well, what they did is they conscripted, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people from Russian out of the countryside that had no military history, and they put them and gave them a gun, sent them over there.
Yeah.
well, you're going on a training exercise. Yeah, right. It wasn't training.
Well, if you ever actually watched videos like leaked footage of actual Russian military training, it's kind of crap. The stuff they do doesn't really teach anybody about military tactics. Like their training is kind of stupid, to be honest with you. I've watched a lot of leaked footage where people have leaked on the internet their training, and it's kind of crap.
Well, yeah, they put up a barn there about 200 yards away and see if they can hit it or not, right, with the gun.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. One Vision. The veterans will stand up. However, if the liberal woke people get their way, there won't be any guns on the street or out in the public. Right now, Paul Hodges, aren't you going through that over there? They're trying to take all your guns away.
Away from us, yeah.
That's the beginning of it, how it's going to work.
Yeah. Disarm the people, and then they can't fight back. Hey, Dre, how you doing?
Dre,
But I think you're going to have a different culture here in Canada with them trying to take guns away. Because like they started doing with PEI, all of a sudden they went, put brakes on, okay, we're not going to do it right now. You have to rethink all this, right? Because it wasn't going to go as easy what they thought it was, right?
well, you've got a petty little dictator that thinks he's at large and in charge there, that he causes more problems than anything.
Well, there was a whole bunch of protesters protested him in Hamilton yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just a little handful. They had nothing. Meanwhile, they had police protection, cops pushing people back, and they were trying to get at them. Oh, just a handful of people.
Yeah, but Russia would never try to invade the U.S. anyway. That doesn't make any sense by any means.
Well,
Why
except
would you try to? You would never get close enough. They would know you were
except,
coming.
Justin, desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah.
If Russia feels truly threatened to the point where they figure it's either them or us, you never know what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have the military capability to move equipment in large scale like that
Push the other button.
True.
across the oceans in a way. You can't really say,
You
oh,
got-
they
you
could
got-
just
you
go.
got some idiot in their government that is a military guy that's going to say, "Well, we need to fire nuclear weapons."
Well, but see
I'm talking
that,
about conventional warfare.
but that'd be the end of Russia too, though. Not
Oh,
just
yeah. Reciprocal.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it'd be almost, we'd be bombed back into the Stone Age globally, because it would just, the nuclear fallout and everything that would happen is just, you think Chernobyl was a big deal.
I'm just
The
talking about
problem is, though, the moment one of them missiles goes, you're going to get the one person that stands up and goes, "Won't somebody think about global warming?"
Oh, did you have that person?
Yeah, but I wasn't talking about nuclear weapons. I was talking about conventional warfare.
Boy, conventional, no.
Russia would have, that would be the stupidest thing they could ever try to do. Because one, you would know weeks in advance that they were even mobilizing. Two, they don't have the sea lift capability to move equipment on a large scale like that. And the only other place they could really go through is Alaska, and there's just not any road structure up there. That's not a viable landing point.
Yep, yeah.
Do they
There's not
even have the
enough infrastructure
firepower?
out there.
Hey, Carlos.
Hey,
Yeah,
Carlos.
hi. Hi.
Yeah, but do you see what Trudeau did there, Paul? You know, he got all this green energy stuff, right? You
Yeah,
know, you got to have electric, you got to do all this. You can't burn fossil fuels. He flew from Ottawa all the way over to Vancouver, British Columbia,
Here's the smartest man on the internet.
and he was there for 4 hours and then flew back.
yeah,
Huh?
private plane. Yeah.
That's why I came in here to listen to General Custer Justin.
Hey,
Boy.
Dre, how's it going, buddy?
Not bad. How's everybody doing this morning?
Another day in paradise here in the snow belt of the north.
All right. All right. To answer Justin's question, in a conventional battle, Russia will use a two-pronged attack. One coming across the Aleutian Islands through Alaska during the spring, and then they would stage their second attack off of Cuba to infiltrate through the southwest. Okay, that would be the conventional move for them to make. That will divide up our forces and keep them occupied. And like I say, they'll be able to fight and probably take over majority of Alaska and move into the edge of Canada right off the Washington state border. They have several places they can attack in the southwest that they can probably get in deep into Mississippi and the parts of Louisiana before we can stop them and hold it for a while until they get reinforcements.
Yeah.
That's
So
our
how would that-
vulnerability spots right there. People forget about how close the Aleutian Islands in Alaska are to the Russian border. It's right next door. As old Sarah Palin used to say, I can see the Russians from my front door.
Yeah.
And that's not just a joke. It's a reality.
I'm just saying, how would they come up through Cuba though without us knowing weeks in advance that they were moving?
Oh, well, like I said, it's not that we wouldn't know. It's about do we really believe in the intent? It's just like with Ukraine. We knew they were building forces up, and what do we all hear? Oh, he'll never invade. He'll never invade. What happened? He invaded. So it's not about us not knowing. It's trying to anticipate the intent.
Well, that's the lack of logic in warfare anyway, right? Especially when you got a dictatorship type of thing.
Right. So you think here they have a certain amount of equipment already in what they would call Eastern Russia, them to reinforce it, bring in troops and stuff, compared to how long would it take us to mobilize to get a matching force up into Alaska. Now we have small bases in Alaska, radar installations, all that kind of stuff that we can, it can hold itself for probably a day or two. But how long was to mass troops out of Fort Lewis in Washington and all the other troops out of Fort Irwin in California to mobilize them and get them up to the Alaskan island? So it's about how quick can someone mobilize to get your force to another location. So they have the clear advantage from going through Alaska because they're on their own territory, right on the next to the border. So
Yeah, but how much
Justin.
road infrastructure is between Alaska and Canada though? There's only so much of it though, right? Correct?
Yeah, but
I mean,
an army doesn't need the army doesn't need a highway.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that because Alaska is majority open, not I'll say that open land, but it's wilderness, okay? So you're not going to run into a lot of resistance initially until you get down you are hitting Canada areas and getting down towards Washington. So they'll come across Alaska, they'll run through Alaska fairly easy unless we're able to get a rapid deployment force up there to slow them down. I'm not going to stop them, just slow them down until we can continue to build our troops.
That's not always the case, Paul, because depending on the geography, you would, in some areas, you have to have some kind of road infrastructure.
Yeah, like I said, if you look at Alaska, Alaska's got one major highway that goes from the southern tip of it up to the certain parts of the northern part, and then it stops.
Right.
So basically, you can control traffic as far as vehicles fairly easy in Alaska. And that's why I say people say you get out off the main road, you're in the boonies real quick. up there. And the same thing with that part of Canada until you get down to Vancouver. It's not a whole lot of infrastructure to worry about. And that's what I'm saying. It's about trying to get like say, one Vision Arrow talk about quick reactionary force. You get a force up there to try to slow it down until you can mass a larger contingency, which we would bring. Like I say, you got Fort Lewis in Washington, you got Fort Irwin in California, which are two largest military bases on the West Coast. You got the Marines, first Marine Division out of Camp Pendleton. But like I say, they all have to either be flown or shipped up the coastline.
Well, they got, don't they got Lake Hood for one thing, isn't it? They got a military base there with Air Force.
Well, there's bases there. It's about what type of base is there.
Yeah, and you got
I
that.
say Fort Lewis is a major base on the West Coast here. For military. They can send a quick reactionary force up there to try to slow the ramp, but they don't. Like I say, you need air cover, and you have a couple small, very small installations in Alaska that can provide air cover. But if the Russians strike first, that's one of the first things they would take out is our capability of controlling the air. So that's modern warfare. The one who controls the skies can maintain the ground. That's all about modern warfare. And that's why I'm really surprised Russia has not taken that path of trying to use everything from an aerial perspective and not send bombers into Ukraine, because I think they're fearful of that will force us into put in a no-fly zone, which means anything that flies across the Russian border will be shot down by a number of missile batteries, SAMs, and everything else we can get our hands on, plus our regular other Air Force capabilities that we have from Germany through Poland and the United States. Will have carriers in the Black Sea in a heartbeat and stuff. But you talking about conventional troops on the ground, vehicles on the ground, they will run through Alaska and be at the Washington state border in about 3 to 4 months easily.
Yeah.
So there's not enough manpower and equipment to stop them. And that's why I said the ideal position for them, like it was in Ukraine. They attacked Ukraine right at the beginning of spring, and they established a foothold all through spring, through the summer, into the fall. So now they're entrenched, and now it is a man per man, ground, inch by inch, ground by ground fight to get them out. Because no army fights hard in the winter. The winter is something you survive through as an army. It's survival because you're fighting the elements more than you are the enemy.
Well, the other interesting thing too, Dre, is throughout history, Russia has on occasion called for the return of Alaska back to their territory.
Yeah, because they sold it to us.
Just like they have done now about Ukraine.
Right. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of acquisitions that happened over here. Like I said, Alaska was sold to us by the Russians because the Russian government needed the money more than anything else. They need the money, so it was sold to us by the Russians. And like I say, people forget, like in our time, Paul, where Russia extended all the way down to Croatia, now called modern day Croatia, all the way back to the main body of what we call Russia today. It expanded across 15 countries, 16 countries,
right,
at one point. So they can technically lay claim to a lot of territory, and that's what they're afraid now. They don't want NATO forces right at their doorstep. They don't have that buffer like they used to have, where you got people in the Baltics and I say Croatia, Poland. A lot of them places were all under Russian control at one time in history.
Well, modern day technology has really done a lot as far as shrinking the planet. You used to have to, technology now, there isn't any stumbling blocks for people moving, No,
like I say, since World War II, and I tell people, I said, our philosophy here in the United States has been more of a preserve what we have. We no longer occupy territory. And that was the backlash of World War II, primarily because of colonialism by the old empires of France, Britain, whoever else was colonizing half the world back then,
Right.
prior to the turn of the century. So now you talk about since World War II, there has been no one who has had a war to occupy territory from a major, I would say, one of the top 3 or 4 nations. Because of that, you don't want to have that same colonialism tag put on them. We'll go and preserve what we have, but we will not take it. And when you talk about military force, that's the opposite philosophy of what military is for. Your military is to go in and fight and to take possession of land. That's how you win wars. You crush the enemy's will to fight and you take the land, so you push them back into a corner. You take away all the resources. Resources is about profit, just like World War II, Japan had to expand out and go into China, go down the rest of the Asian Pacific area because they needed the resources. So that means they had to take control of the land. And that's what armies do. Take land.
Well, Tim
And that's why it's
Jackson
so
made a
frustrating
point.
when you have limited engagement, because war is not something that you say is limited. War is war. You win at all costs.
Tim Jackson made the point of how do you think the United States would do if they lost all of their allies?
We lost our allies. Our allies are basically our eyes and ears. They're not our manpower.
They're not the
It's our eyes
muscle.
and ears. Yeah, we still carry the largest man force per body, but when you have your allies provide you intel, which is always vital. They're our eyes and ears because they have people who may be insurgents, undercovers, we would call it basically spies that maybe American spies could not get into.
Now,
Eyes and ears are vital.
now I've said this before, and I don't know if you disagree with me, but
Whenever
I've said that,
I achieved the rank of sergeant when I was in the Marine Corps, but when I worked as a legal officer, I had the privilege to sit around with all the colonels and majors and stuff doing all the briefings. So I picked up on a lot of information I was always privileged to have. We talk about all these classified documents. I had a top secret clearance when I was in, and I was privileged to read a lot of classified materials. And getting back to Tim's thing, I said, intel actually, because there's not an Air Force on the planet except for the Israeli Air Force that is more trained, more sophisticated than the American Air Force. We don't rely upon Air Force support from other countries. We do it ourselves. Israeli Air Force is probably the most, I would say, highly trained because they're on constant alert all the time because of the borders that they're against. They have a constant enemy that is ever present. But
the Iron Dome system they have is amazing.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They're probably the most highly trained forces, on the planet. But number-wise, they don't have the manpower. But I would say their pilots are probably one of the best trained on the planet. But I say, sophistication-wise, everything else, that's still us. And like I say,
Yeah.
even when we do these big bombing things halfway across the planet, that's logistics. You're talking about tankers taking off out of Italy and other places for refueling and everything else. That's where our allies come into play, where we can use air bases for refueling our long range bombers. If we're going to
Yeah.
do that kind of activity and stuff.
Now, I've said this before, Dre, and like I said, I don't know if you'd agree with me or not, but
Mhm.
it seems like a lot of the European countries, like a lot of the ones that are in NATO, have gotten almost comfortable with having U.S. forces there where they seem to get really waxed on their own militaries.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I've said that the U.S. military tends to be the backbone of a lot of their militaries.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's because the US are there. We've got over in Europe, they've got lax because they never thought another war because of NATO would actually happen. They never thought that Russia would do what they did in Ukraine.
Right.
That's
Well,
what
like
it
anything
is.
else, you don't think about the Ukraine situation. You think about, well, we know Russia's not going to invade UK. We know that's not going to happen overnight. You know, unlike you go back to World War II, where it was so much speculation going on in World War II. You had a divided parliament that said, hey, won't we just say we give up and preserve our way of life? And the other half said, no, we'll fight to the bitter end. And that was a big debate going on in the UK at the time. Because
The problem with the UK now-
people were still recovering from World War One.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if World War was happened now, UK would be the first country that everyone would try and take. And the reason being the central country on the planet, central-ish, yeah, and an island, we are the perfect place to launch missiles from.
Right. That's a strategic location of UK to Europe makes it vital, where you can have, like I said, just like in World War II, it was a launching point for ships, aircraft, everything else. That is because of their position to the rest of Europe. Europe itself is a very fragile, I would say, NATO alliance, what we would call it. It's very fragile because you have a lot of these old countries who have had disagreements over the years on several things, and that's why even to this day, talking about Brexit and everything else, these issues are not new. This goes back to the last century.
Yeah.
And stuff about people getting equal representation. What's the monetary system going to be? All these different things, because the cultures can be so different over in Europe, and that's what I'm saying. You still have a lot of differences that people are just not happy about.
Thursday.
Oh, thank you, Russell. You can call us the old geezer for him. I know David's still a young guy, but the other three of us here, and Justin's just a baby. We still use Johnsons and Johnsons.
I joined the old geezer club overnight.
Yeah.
No.
So other than we thinking about playing Call of Duty here with Justin over the weekend, what else is going on?
Playing Call of Duty. I don't even play Call of Duty.
You had it on your page that you play Call of Duty.
I don't have it though.
No, see, now you can't say I don't check on your stuff because
I've
you got
never
it on
before.
there. You got some little Fantasyland stuff. I guess you dress up like a little fairy or something, and you got the Grand Theft Auto, and the last one over to the far right, you got a little panel with Call of Duty on it, don't you?
You've been busted.
David's getting a kick out of that.
So you can't say Dre don't support you.
And I believe that, Justin, is checkmate.
Yeah. Yeah, when he talk about he's going to do his channel in gaming, I invited him, Dave. I said, well, go on and get on Battlefield 3. That way, I've been playing that for over a decade, Battlefield 3 and stuff. And I have one of the I think the last copies of Command and Conquer and stuff. I still play against the computer. And it's always funny how if you upgrade your computer, the game finds new ways to kill you. It's just your processor just thinking faster. And you got to figure out, I got to move faster and do this and do that until I can start kicking the computer's butt. But initially, you're getting wiped off the face of the planet real quick. Are you out today, Justin, or are you at home?
No, I start my vacation tomorrow.
Vacation? How you get vacation? You ain't barely been on a job a year.
Because I get them in 3 weeks every year.
I get what, 5 weeks a year, but you can't use it until after you pass a year of probation.
No, you get with my job, you get 2 weeks after your first 6 months.
Jeez.
And then you get 3 free days every year too that you can use for whatever you want.
Well, I get.
You know what it means, Dre, don't you?
Yeah. the bar is
This
real low.
is good news for those that need car parking space, because there's going to be an extra space for the next couple of days in the car park.
Yeah, well, I mean, I at my level now, I accumulate so much leave. It's almost like I'm forced to take days off and stuff. Between I get 65 hours of administrative time to take whenever I want. I earned what 4 or 5 hours every pay period sick time, and I earned 6 hours of vacation time every pay period.
Oh, Jesus.
So right now I'm sitting at, I got my little blue sheet in front of me. I have a total of 272 hours of vacation on the books currently. And when the city went through bankruptcy, they still owe me 142 hours of vacation out of the bankruptcy. And then on my admin time, I'm down to 29 hours. Sick time, which I have been sick a lot. I was in the hospital a couple last year, quite a bit. And I still got 62 hours currently, 186 in the hole, which they owe me from the bankruptcy.
I don't
And
get this sick
And I have
time.
35 hours of holiday bank time.
I don't get your sick time, because it's like, how do you allot how much time you get off for sick?
Well, for us, it's like a staggered thing. Depends on your longevity that you've been with a company or organization, so to speak. So, like say, if I was a brand new employee, I would earn something like 3 hours of pay period. Now I'm earning almost 6 hours for 15 years.
Right. Remember I was telling you that, David? Usually in a company, it'll be like 1 to 3 year employees get so much, and then
Right.
But
Yeah.
over
3
here,
to 6 years or something. Each company will break it up in different, however many years you've been with the company, how
Right.
much you'll accumulate every week.
yeah, but over here, after 6 months, you're entitled to full pay for so long, and then you're entitled to half pay with the government topping it up, and then you're entitled to, half pay from the government, or you claim long-term sick. They don't. There's none of this. And your holidays are different as well, because over here, for every 3 months you work, you're entitled to 1 week's holiday, and that's
1 week?
full. Yeah, full.
For
Full.
3 months work?
Yeah. So after you've done a year, you're entitled to 4 weeks.
And over
Oh,
here,
okay.
like, I work for a company.
And we wonder why production levels are low.
When I was over here, a company I worked for, we had 6 days, sick days a year. But if you
Right.
didn't use them, you lost them.
Right. Some companies are like that. If you don't use it, you lose it.
See, when I was at Walmart, if you had over 80 hours, they would buy you out at the end of the year down to 80 hours. And then the 80 hours would roll over. Because some of the employees that have been with Walmart for like 20, 30 years, dude, they'd have like 350 hours of PTO at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And
Now
so they'd
what-
get a big old fat check at the end of the year.
Now, what my city allows us to do, which I did this year, you can sell back up to 40 hours of vacation time, but you must have taken 40 hours of vacation.
So you
Okay.
take a week off and then sell a week back to them?
Yeah, for my classification, they do it right around as long as you submit it by a certain date in November, they'll send you an extra check or put it in your paycheck right around the 15th of December, so you can use it like Christmas money.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, which is nice. And like I said, I told you, I sold back 40 hours this year, and I took 40 hours during the year. So that's 80 hours I use of vacation time, and I still have 272 hours on the books as of today.
Jesus.
And I got another 142 in the hole.
Yeah.
That's how fast I'm accumulating time.
Well, the funny, like when I drove transport, because I've been there so long, I was up to 6 weeks of vacation time for holidays. Plus, I had 6 sick days, so I could use. And my run at the time was only 3 days long, so I could add 2 more weeks. So I had 2 months I didn't even have to work, really.
Yeah. When I got COVID in the hospital back in 2021, I was only in hospital for 7 days, but I was off work recovering for about 3 months. I had so much sick time on the books back then. I think I had something like over 600 hours of sick time. That I said I could stay gone that whole time, and it was full pay.
Yeah,
Didn't miss a payday and nothing.
perfect,
You
perfect.
know, and that's just been my philosophy. You never know what's going to happen to you down the road. So I know people who earn it and burn it
Yeah,
every pay period. Earn it and burn it, and then something happens to them, they don't have no time on the books, and then they're, you
Yeah,
always
no-
have people who have we call terminal ill situation where people may have cancer, something like that, and they've used up all their time on the books, and they'll ask for other employees to donate some of their time to help them out so they can still get a check.
Oh, wow, you
I've
can
never been in
donate
that situation.
PTO?
What's that, Justin?
You can actually donate PTO to other people?
hello.
Some companies allow it, some don't. I know our city allows it. That
I've never
if
heard of
someone
that.
is in a situation, like I said, terminal illness or severe
Okay,
injury situation,
I
and they
donate.
use up all their time,
Thank
they'll
you.
put out a notice, email through the city and say, on behalf of so-and-so, if you'd like to donate some hours, contact blah, 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 so-and-so HR, and you can donate what you want.
That's actually pretty cool. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. Mostly municipalities do stuff like that to help out the employees, help out other employees, and that way you can do it.
Yeah, because I mean, if you have like 200 and something hours and you just donated 5 or 10 hours,
Right.
I mean, that really helps out somebody.
Yeah. And like I said, I'll make that back in the next pay period. Big deal.
Right?
And like I'm looking at right now, I'm gonna be maxed out because the most I can have on the books is
You don't
320
lose it.
hours. Now, at the rate I'm going right now, I'm gonna probably hit that ceiling right about March right now, which I plan on taking 40 hours off in March. Where my wife will be on her Easter break and stuff. And
Yeah.
we're gonna go out of town for a week and stuff. And then I say I'll earn that 40 hours back within the next 3 to 4 months.
Well, Paul, I'm gonna take off. I gotta go do some work, so.
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it. Dre, thanks for coming in, buddy.
Oh,
guys.
my pleasure, Paul.
And
Justin always makes it interesting.
Yeah,
He
Justin
sits there
does, doesn't he?
bumping his gums and stuff. And he only knows he's only about 10 minutes old.
David's got to go and cut his birthday cake.
Yeah.
David's birthday?
Yes, it's his birthday today.
How old are you, David?
Too old.
Too old. Yeah, right.
46.
46. You talking about too old? My
Right.
oldest is only about. He's 46. My
Come
oldest
on,
is
man.
7 years younger than you.
You don't even look a day over 50. What are you talking about?
So, 50 was 12 years ago.
There you go. He's 62.
Anyway, see you
Okay,
guys.
Paul, everybody in the chat, thanks for being here. We'll see all of you again later today.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Take care.
Yeah, bye-bye.